Hey gang, and welcome along to another episode of Beyond the Comic Con. Thank you so much for joining me. If it's your first time being here, don't forget, hit that like, subscribe button. I do appreciate it. It's all good. And if you could do me a solid and leave a review, that would help even more. Right, we're going to get straight into this next interview. I have the amazing, already becoming a legend, Zach Aguilar. He is Tanjiro Kamido from Demon Slayer, and of course, David Martinez in Cyberpunk as well. Just a great guy, smashing box office records as well with all of the stuff that he's in. So let's go straight into it. Zach, take it away. So here he is, the man himself. Zach Aguilar is in the house. Zach, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, doing good. How you doing, man?
I'm very well. I'm very well, thank you. I've been keeping busy, but nowhere near as busy as you. I just see you traveling the world, going to movie premieres, doing a thing. It's been an incredible journey for you, right?
It's been a blessing, yeah. Just unbelievable being a part of all this stuff, and never thought I would get to do this. Growing up as a fan of anime too, it's very surreal for me. I can't begin to describe it to you. It feels, yeah, very mind blowing.
Yeah, I know. I mean, your story for some of the fans that, I mean, look, all of the fans know who you are, and they've been following you obsessively. They love you, man. And you know, your journey started with quite a serious illness as a kid, right?
Yeah.
It kind of took you off the playground, had you sitting back. So, and it was at that point, I think I've read before, that you got this yearning to be a voice actor. Could you tell me a little bit about that? Is it osteoporosis? Did I get that right, or have I completely destroyed the
Yeah, that was one of the things like I was tested for as a kid. So yeah, long story short is when I was 9 years old, I had pretty like relatively bad asthma, and so I was taking a drug for my asthma. And long story short is I jumped on a trampoline. This drug that I was taking was unknowingly, no one knew yet because it hadn't been fully researched, but it actually caused low bone density in children. So I jumped on a trampoline and just jumping up and down, and I ended up breaking my back. I also broke my heels, and later on I broke my my arm too. I was in a wheelchair for 2 years. So I was 9 years old when all this happened, and I was kind of like, I was in the hospital, I was in and out. Lots of tests were being done on me as a kid. It's not very normal for a 9-year-old child to break their back, you know, doing gymnastics or jumping on a trampoline. So like, what is wrong with this kid? So long story short is, I ended up doing all of this different treatment, trying to figure it out. Like I was in and out of different hospitals, kind of like I felt like a test project because no one would ever give me answers like, what do we do here? What do we do there? And like I was in pain, taking pain medicine, ended up getting acupuncture. Long story short is like acupuncture completely took away my pain, which was unbelievable, like a miracle. I couldn't believe it. It was taking herbs and acupuncture, and that's what worked for me rather than taking like the crazy pain medicine that they prescribe you that you can't take it forever because it just ruins your body and it, you know, ruins your insides, your organs. But yeah, to kind of wrap it all up, I ended up healing from all of that. Luckily, it just going to a million different doctors, and my bones ended up healing. Turns out I didn't have any sort of bone disease, which was good. And it was just from the medication I took. But again, that was a mystery that we didn't solve until like later on, way later on, when studies came out about that medication. So yeah, because of that, like during that time, I watched a lot of anime. That was the time when I really got into watching anime. I loved watching kind of like the darker stories that unfolded within that anime.
What was your anime of choice at the time then?
It was Naruto. No, I loved Naruto. I had no idea what it was. I'm like, what is this cartoon? And it's not I didn't even know where it was made. I didn't know that it was like from Japan. I didn't fully understand like just anything about it. I'm like, wait, I didn't even know that it was dubbed into English because I just found it in English online. And I'm like, wait, is this? And then I found it in Japanese. And then I think I found it in another language. And I was so confused. I'm like, what language is this
Yeah, of
show?
course.
This is so random. Just me trying to find the latest episodes coming out. And yeah, I mean, it kind of sent me down this rabbit hole of really wanting to become a voice actor. I looked up YouTube videos about voice actors going to Comic-Con, doing panels, and yeah, I kind of fell in love with it. And I came from an acting background already as a kid, so to find something like voiceover, I thought was really cool because you didn't necessarily have to look a certain way to play like a character.
Yeah, you can be anything, can't you?
Right. There was part of me that really loved that. I'm like, wow, I can really just focus on the character, not worry about my appearance or how I look or whatever it is. Because as a kid actor, they always try to pair you with like families of people. Like I have a fake mom and I have a fake dad, and then we all do a test shot for like a Hershey's commercial or something. And if I don't look like I could actually be their son, then I'm probably not going to get the part if they've already picked the parents. So yeah, I was never a huge fan of that aspect when it came to acting. But yeah, I fell in love with anime, fell in love with voiceover, especially through playing video games, watching anime, and the rest is kind of history. I worked really hard. I wanted to make something for myself after like going through this crazy traumatic experience as a child, going through like a huge injury, which by the way, I don't know, not too many people know about that. So that's why and I don't know why I've just never shared it. I've never really talked a lot about it, but I'm not going to lie, that pivotal moment in my life definitely set me on this path, like without a doubt in my mind. I'd probably be an engineer right now, which is still a pretty good job, but but I would probably be an engineer of some sort right now because my parents really, really wanted me to follow that route. But because of everything I experienced, I had a lot of different emotions going on as a kid, and I kind of found acting as a way to channel those emotions toward something positive.
Yeah, from kind of absolute devastation really comes something really, really positive. And how mad is it for you to mention Naruto as well? I think the first time we met was at an anime con in the UK in Birmingham, and at the same show Miley Flanagan's there. So you're watching a cartoon and now
right
you're
next to me,
hanging out with your peers. Like you're just friends at this point. It's how crazy is that, right?
I gotta say, it's absolutely, it is insane to me to know Miley and to even call her like a friend. She's been so sweet. Every interaction I've had with her is just phenomenal. You can tell that she's a great person and she loves what she does. She loves meeting the fans. She's so focused on her craft and has even offered me a lot of really great advice just about how to interact with people and just because going to conventions and stuff, that's definitely a whole other part of this job that I never would have thought of. And I think as an actor and someone that people are there to meet, you do have to have a sense of patience about yourself and kind of, be willing to receive all of this love and energy and sometimes even negativity from people. And that negativity might not necessarily be directed towards you, but you're kind of like that outlet for people. And it's the same thing with me and my injury. Anime was that outlet for me to kind of escape all of that. And I think people take that same feeling to anime conventions, and when they go and meet their favorite actor or voice actor, I think that sometimes they share parts of their life that are super deeply personal, and you're never equipped to like deal with that right off the bat. I'm thinking in my head, hey, I just met this guy, he's telling me his life story, but at the same time,
but you've been in their life for so long, you're being beamed into their house or on their phone or wherever it is they're watching Crunchyroll or whatever. So you know, they have that connection with you where your voice, your character, and regardless of, I suppose, whether it's they're not happy with the storyline or how sometimes the anime is a little bit different to the book and the manga. It's you know, they will hold that opinion, won't they? And it's your fault. It's all on
Right.
you, Zach.
It's all my fault. Yeah, I mean, I will say I do think that there is something really special about that, though. People watching the show and connecting me to the character and feeling like they kind of know me because they know the character. I think that's kind of cool. You know, in a way, it means I did my job well, and that people have that illusion. You know, they've gotten to fall into the world of the character and me, and I've kind of just become whatever character they know me as, which I don't know. I think it's great. It's a great compliment.
I mean, you do exude, Tanjiro, like that positivity and that goodwill to all the people that you've met. And I can see that you've had training from people like Miley and stuff. The way you interact with the fans is fantastic, and I know they all really appreciate that. And say the journey wasn't always quite easy for you. Again, like I know we had those childhood struggles. You didn't quite get straight into the anime acting, did you? You had to go for was it the Bang Zoom competition that you did at an anime expo, sorry?
Exactly. Yeah. So I was taking a lot of classes. I took a lot of like voiceover classes as a teenager. And then in 2014, I was like 15, 16 years old. I tried out for this voice acting competition that Bang Zoom was doing. And I ended up winning that competition. And that kind of set me on this whole track of actually being a voice actor. But it definitely wasn't easy. I didn't show up to the competition and just be like, I'm doing fun of voice, put me in an anime. There was so much training and hard work that went behind it. I almost didn't even do the competition because I knew, or I thought that the studio knew who I was because I had been taking classes with them. They kind of like knew who I was, I thought, at that time. And so I just assumed, like if they wanted to put me in a show or give me an opportunity to audition for a show, I think they would have done that by now. So I almost didn't even do it. And oh,
wow.
And funny enough, one of my friends, Erica Lindbeck, was with me at the time. We were just at the convention. She was also taking classes with the studio, so that's how we knew each other. I think she was still in college or just finishing up college or something, and I was like 16, and so she's like, "Oh, dude," she was like a big sister to me. She's like, "Why don't we just like get in line for this thing? Get in line for the competition?" And I said, "Oh, no, like, you know, they already know me. They already know us. Like, wouldn't they have put us in something already?" And she's like, no, let's just do it for fun. Who cares? And because she encouraged me to go into line, I mean, and then I ended up winning it. It changed the whole trajectory of my life. And sometimes I look back on that moment and I think I think so many times people really are in the way of their own success. Like they really are keeping themselves mentally from something. You can't think too hard about doing something. Just do it. You know, just go out and do it. Don't get in your own head. And it's so much easier said than done, because when you're an actor, you feel embarrassed, you feel insecure, you feel like, oh, maybe I said the wrong thing to this casting director, or, oh man, why didn't I go up and say hi to that person? You know, and you have all these thoughts. You're overthinking everything.
What did I say? Was that wrong? Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Exactly. Like always overthinking. And I think that's what I would tell everybody out there is don't overthink it. Just do. Just do, you know, I mean, and you're going to make mistakes. You're going to have failures. You're going to audition for a billion things and, you know, maybe get one role if you're lucky. And sometimes that's just how it is, but you'll learn from the experience. So just staying with it and being persistent, that's the best thing you can do.
Yeah, and carry on putting art into the world, whatever your art is, as long as you're not hurting anyone or doing anything. Just keep creating, keep going out and take those opportunities. I strongly believe in that as well, my friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it true you're an accomplished pianist?
I am. Yeah. I grew up playing my piano my entire life. My parents forced me to. I hated them for it for a while, but I'm so thankful that they actually, kept me in piano lessons. And I had a teacher that was very strict. And looking back, I'm very thankful that she was, because it encouraged me to practice. It encouraged me to learn new songs. But I can play just about anything on piano, which is kind of crazy to say, but that's like my hidden skill, hidden talent.
Do you think that helps with the timing when you're dubbing against the anime as well? You've kind of got that, that 4/4/4 beat in your head almost, and you can kind of see how that would go in line with anime dubbing.
100%. When I was a little kid and I started taking like the classes or even anime dubbing classes, that was something my teacher always said, was like, wow, you have like magnificent timing. Like you have better timing than most of the adults who are in this class. Like it was kind of just flabbergasted why I knew how timing worked, like when to start, when to stop. And I didn't even have to look at the picture of what was on the screen. I could just look at the script and not even look at the picture. And he's like, how did you do that? And later finding out that I grew up playing piano, I think that was a big part of it. And I didn't even realize that gave me a sort of advantage, a hidden superpower to dubbing.
And martial arts as well?
I did do martial arts. Yes. Yeah. Yes, I did do martial arts. I grew up doing all sorts of, I did karate, I did kung fu, which was very interesting. My teacher had me doing like a headstand my first day, which was terrifying. I've never done anything like that. Lots of like balance and yoga, more about like force of energy. But no, I did that a lot as a kid. I haven't done martial arts in a minute. So
okay. So
that
might affect my question. So
okay.
The question was Tanjiro versus Yuichi Chidori, or Zach versus Adam? Because we know Adam.
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, Adam might be pretty good, but also Adam might have some skills on me, but I have some years on Adam. So those are fighting words. Adam's become such a good friend of mine, though. I mean, he's great. He's super funny. Just overall like a light in this community, I think. And he's been really cool to play off of, even though we haven't really necessarily been in like, a project together, except for his additional roles that he got to be in the Demon Slayer movie. But hopefully,
and you're a personal assistant at the premiere, I believe, as well.
And my assistant, him randomly showing up, being my assistant. He told me the night before that he was gonna do that. He actually asked for my approval, because he's like, I don't want to take away from your moment or anything. Like, I just thought it was funny, and I'm like, no, dude, do it.
True, Adam.
Yeah, I'm like, do it, man. I think that's hilarious. So I'm glad that he showed up with that shirt.
Yeah, when I saw that, I thought, yeah, well played. That's a very Adam moment there for you. And as a big Pokemon fan, how did it feel to be Callum and get the role in Pokemon Masters? And is there any other franchise that you're a massive fan of that you're like, this is what I need, this is what Zach needs, come on?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Felt amazing to be a part of Pokemon too. And also getting to play, funny enough, I also got to do Milo in Twilight Wings, the anime, which is kind of like, it was a very short little cameo for me, but I'm glad I got to do it. Working with that company, I'd love to work with the Pokemon company even more. Those guys are amazing. I grew up with Pokemon just like everyone else. So
and the resurgence now is massive, isn't it? It's like crazy.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I collect all of the cards. I still have my old collection from like when I was a kid, which is very insane to say. I'm so thank you Mom, for not throwing away my Pokemon cards, because now they're all worth a ton of money, which is just absurd to think about. I haven't even I haven't even tried to price them out, but yeah, I have like some of the super rare cards. I have the gold star, like shiny Rayquaza. I have
you got
I
a
have
few quid then.
shining Charizard. I have Gold Star Alakazam. I have yeah, just all sorts of different like crazy insane cards that I need to probably go get graded. But to answer your question, if I could work with another franchise or a company, I would love to be in maybe the next Avatar, The Last Airbender series. Like
Yeah.
just the animated series would be amazing. I mean, or the live action if they can find a character for me. But if not, I would love to be in the animated series. I grew up watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. I watched every single show or every single episode like 30 times, and I can answer all of the weird, crazy trivia from it. I am just such a huge fan of that show.
Yeah, oh right, that would be amazing actually, and to get you into, it's about time we saw you in some sort of live action. I would say, Zach, would you be up for some sort of live action? Because I feel like I went on the internet about an hour before this interview and typed in your name, and the internet exploded because David Martinez is making a return. Is this right? And I've noticed some tram lines in your hair there, my friend.
Oh yeah, the lines are oh well, actually I think this one still looks good. They're the lines are fading a little bit, but yeah, no, I got approached to be a part of a nonprofit film to return as David Martinez in this little thing. It's kind of just like a love letter to the fans, and I know there's not much I can really say about it, but I just hope people watch it, you know, and enjoy it when it comes out. It was super fun to get to return as David in some way, shape, or form. And who knows? All I can do is hope people enjoy it and hope that maybe I'll have a chance to do something else like that in the future. I love, you know, on camera acting. That's actually my original background for acting as a kid. Those were all of the acting classes I took. I did a bunch of theater. I did a bunch of on camera. So it feels kind of nice to come back to my roots, if you will. But at the same time, it's definitely a process. Like it's a process getting back into it and having to think about, oh wait, like my body language, the way I like position my shoulders, the way I stand up, the way every step that I take, I'm walking as the character. I'm living in their shoes, like physically, and also, you know, saying the lines and just going through the motions as them.
Yeah, because you're now actually having to think about how am I moving as well, not what would my character be doing, or having that streamed at you when you're dubbing, right?
Right, exactly.
I think everyone's going to go and watch it, man. This, you know, in Cyberpunk, I think the game itself is a great game, but it had a slightly slow start. Let's be honest. When it was released, it was a bit clunky, a bit buggy, and things like that. And I really feel like the Netflix show really kind of saved that and gave that game a second lease of life. I mean, you must feel extremely proud of that, because David Martinez was a really beloved character, like instantly. So, how does it feel like being the cyberpunk savior? Let's call it what it is.
Oh man, I gotta say, like, it just being a part of that and working with the CD Projekt Red, that team is absolutely incredible. I have nothing but immense immense amounts of respect for all of everybody who's ever worked on that Cyberpunk project. Yeah. There's a lot of people in Poland, I believe, I still haven't even had a chance to meet. But just absolutely amazing getting to come in and play David and really kind of take ownership of that role. Even during the recording process, I've always been the type of actor, I'm always like, I want to please the client. I want the producers to like what we're doing. And if they disagree, I always try to, like, you know, go in the direction that they want me to go in, because that's their baby, you know, that's their project. That's their that's their thing that they've spent all their time writing and figuring out. And I'm like, I want to make sure that I'm doing what makes them happy. And there were so many moments while working on that show where they paused for a minute and said, we don't like these lines. Zach, what do you want to do with it? What do you think? Wow, what do you think he would do? And I'm like, me? Like, am I the Zach you're talking to? Hello? And they're like, yeah. Like, what do you think? And I'm like, well, I have some ideas, just some improv ideas. And they would just they would start recording, and I would throw out a few different ideas, a few different lines. And I got to tell you, 9 times out of 10, they actually took the idea that I had, and the process was just so collaborative. And to do an anime specifically, to have that kind of collaboration is not, I wouldn't call it usual. I mean, a lot of actors can speak up, and
you've got that it's high,
exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah. So because it is dubbing and you're working with the lip flaps, and there were so many times when after you've done enough dubbing, you kind of, what's the word? It's kind of like writing a song in a way. Maybe when you've written a song enough times and you kind of you hear a little melody and it's got to fit within these certain beats, and you just kind of know, your brain automatically starts coming up with lines that might fit that thing. So usually when I'm working on a show, I'll have 3 alternate lines in the back of my head that would probably work for that scene and flow very well and also fit the timing. So the team was really open to hearing what I had to say. And yeah, we had a super collaborative process. And all I can say is I hope that if David comes back in another capacity, or if CD Projekt Red decides to do some kind of live action project on their own, I don't know if they would partner with Netflix or someone else. I hope that they would ask me to be a part of it, or let me audition to be a part of it, because that's all I ever asked for, is just to get the audition. And I'm like, hey, I'll earn the role myself. Just give me the audition, please. And I would love to be a part of that process and work with those guys again.
Well, look, seeing this promo picture that's come out around this, it's looking pretty good, man.
Thank you.
Really, really excited for you on that as well. I mean, talking about the guys at Cyberpunk coming to you and asking you for your opinion on these roles, how does your research look when you're asked to create a new voice, or you're given a character? What kind of depths do you go into that you take to the studio? And I know sometimes obviously it's very rigid, these are the lines, this is what you've got to stick to, but is there much work that goes in the background, or do you turn up and go, okay, here's a handful of voices? Because you are a voice chameleon, man. How you do it, it's awesome.
Oh, thank you. I do my best to
even when I do my deep voice,
I try to change it up. I try to make it fun and interesting for people. I don't want them to hear me in a role and think, oh, I don't want them to always recognize me. Yeah. It's flattering if they do, but at the same time, I try to make every character unique and different to each project I'm a part of. But yeah, I mean, I do as much research as I possibly can for every single role. When it comes to anime that have manga, like Demon Slayer, I will read through the entire manga, reference the source material. There was even a line in Infinity Castle that I got to write and throw in that is written word for word that way in the manga, but for some reason it wasn't written that way in our dubbing script. And so it was translated a different way, I think, and that's why the line was written a different way. But I'm
were guys.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened. And I went to the producer and I said, hey, can we actually change this line to this? And I said to her, I'm like, no kidding. This is what it's written word for word in the manga. And I think the timing actually might work perfectly for the dubbing as well. Why don't we just keep exactly what was written in the English translation of the manga? And they're like, oh, and they looked it up in the manga, and they're like, oh yeah, you're right. It actually fits perfectly. And I did the line, fits perfectly, and they're like, okay, cool. We're gonna keep we're gonna swap the line to what was in the manga. And I just thought that that was really cool that we got to do that. And everybody agreed that the manga line fit better than what was written in that script. So yeah, I mean, I do my best to like bring the source material, and I think a lot of actors do, but we don't always talk about it on social media. Like we don't talk too in depth about like the research and the process that we do. I know some people do, and they make like all these videos and stuff talking about it, which is cool because you can see the background process. But so many actors, I mean, we're all just nerds and we love what we do. We love I think you have to love anime to want to voice in anime. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I can't tell you for Cyberpunk, the research I did on Edgerunners, it wasn't as in depth as I wanted it to be, because there was no source material for me to reference other than 2077, right, which is the game. So I went through and I played some of the game. I had already played some of the game actually before I even got that audition. So it was funny. I understood the lingo. I understood like Choom and Nova and Preem, and I think some of those words were in my audition. So it's nice to know what you're actually talking about before, it's nice to know like eddies are the money, that their currency. It's nice to know things like that. Otherwise you're like, what am I talking about? What does this even mean? So to have that subtext in your mind really helps. But yeah, I went through and I played the game, and I saw like the floating koi fish too, like the koi fish hologram. And then when I saw that referenced in the anime, the producers were really stoked that I did that research, because I was like, oh, this thing kind of reminds me of like the Delamain quest. And they're like, wait, what? How do you know what that is? I'm like, well, I played the game, guys. Like I did my research on. They're like, that's crazy. So the producers were super happy that I like looked into the game and really understood the universe and the world, and even the tonality of the acting that they used in the game, which is why for David specifically, I did my best to bring more of a realism to his voice and even his overall character. I know things are animated, so sometimes like they're a little bit like goofy and quirkier, and like anime has that kind of like quirkiness in the acting sometimes, but also when we did those really grounded moments, like he's talking to his mom, or he's talking about like somebody who's dying, or vice versa, to really just make it sound like you're watching a movie and not watching a cartoon.
You did really give it some gravitas there, Zach, on that. Yeah,
Thank you.
It definitely comes through in the performance. And look, you were talking about research, but come on, you're a gamer. We've all seen the streams as well, so that wasn't probably that hard for you to research by just sitting down and playing some Cyberpunk.
Oh no, not at all.
465,000 subscribers on YouTube. Like you were streaming loads a few years ago. It's chilled out. I noticed 6 days ago we were playing some crazy battle golf. Is this the return of streaming on YouTube again for you?
I got
Do you have
asked
time anymore?
Yeah, the time thing is hard, because honestly, like every audition, I've been putting so much energy into projects behind the scenes. I've been putting all of my energy into auditions. I got asked to be a part of that stream, like the crazy battle golf. I think that's 99% of the battle is trying to gather other actors to be on your stream, because everybody's all over the place. Everyone's schedules are crazy, and actors, like when it comes to committing, at least the ones in LA, when it comes to committing to being somewhere at a specific time, nobody can commit. Everybody snowflakes, like they flake out. So yeah, people are flaky, but yeah, no, I love doing streams. I love playing video games. I think moving forward with YouTube, I will be doing more of that, but also I think I want to do more just videos, like videos on YouTube. And I would love to take people kind of into my life day to day, life, maybe sort of like a reality it's like a vlog, I guess, but with more entertaining than just a vlog, more like a reality show where I showcase different friends of mine and even their lives and my life and just what we do on a day-to-day basis and kind of how our world works, because I don't think a lot of people realize what it's like to be an actor or a voice actor day to day. And it's kind of funny because it's probably nowhere near as glamorous as what you might think it is. Just, like continuously doing a take of an audition and overthinking it and freaking out and then giving it some time and looking back at that audition and then doing another one or doing like 5 auditions in a day and like losing your mind kind of, which is sort of how it works. The industry moves so fast.
And if you're not constantly on it, it's going to leave you behind, isn't it? I've got some actor friends and other voice actor friends, and it's constantly, it's demos, it's more rejections than positives in this business as well, right? I mean, is that still the case for you, mate? Are you I know you have to put those demos in. Are you still at the point where, because I feel like you're still at a new, how do I put this? You are kind of relatively new to the game, I would say, still, but you have become like a master of the craft. So you are gonna become one of those voice actor legends. You're
I hope
already
so.
there. I think you're
I hope so.
So established already. But does just being Zach get you roles up, walk into the room, and daddy's home?
I've been super fortunate. Some things I have been like, I do get offers sometimes, like to participate in a show or a game or to like narrate somebody's audiobook or something, like it just comes through randomly for my agent. And with my own time, I like to be strategic on what I take on, because I think I've gotten to the point where I want to be so passionate about whatever it is I'm working on. I want to have that fire to put in the extra work and really figure out the character and go in there and work with the team and have that collaborative process. I wouldn't want to work on a character or a show or a game for months and just kind of be like, oh, I can't believe I have to work on this again today. Like, you know what I mean? Like you at some point you don't really just do it to get like the paycheck of the acting work. Like you do it because you really want to be a part of the project. But other than that, like I gotta tell you, for actors, we're constantly fighting. I feel like I'm constantly fighting for roles. There's things that I want. There's still dream roles that I have. I would love to be a part of. New shows coming out, even like anime. I'm like, I just want the audition. I want to figure out how I can position myself in the best way to get that opportunity. So I'm always still fighting for more roles, and there's so many things I've still auditioned for and I've gotten rejected from because I wasn't the right fit for their project or the character, vice versa. But I'm so used to it nowadays. It's like I don't know, I'm so used to just auditioning, and I think having the opportunity to audition is just the most flattering part. And that's all I care about, is just having that opportunity. And if they don't think it fits for their thing, or maybe they go in a different direction, or maybe they scrap the script and change the character and they're like, oh, his voice is now really low, and Zach has a naturally higher voice, then so be it. But yeah, just always love that opportunity. That's all I can ask for.
Yeah, well, it's great to be asked, isn't it? That's the thing.
Oh yeah.
And through having a career in acting now, what's the best thing to happen to you from that, or like out of acting moment, and why is it having Steve Aoki put a cake in your face?
Steve Aoki did. He came.
You got caked.
I gotta tell you the whole story behind that. Is he came by my autograph table at Collecticon, and he asked me to sign some things for him, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like and I believe it was like Demon Slayer stuff, Demon Slayer cards, And I'm like, of course, I'd love to, of course, I'd love to sign stuff for Steve Aoki. And one of the workers at Collecticon made a joke and said, you should ask him to cake you or something. And I'm like, oh, wait, yeah, but there's no way. Would he do that? Does he cake people randomly? Is it planned? Like, I never knew how that all worked. And they're like, oh, yeah, you can ask him and just stand in the front row and he'll cake you. And I'm like, oh, cool. So they figured it all out. He caked me. But he's just a really
some autographs for a caking.
for a caking. But he also kindly gave me his manager came by afterwards and gave me a like limited edition signed, like encased. It was cased and graded and everything. It was signed by Steve, and it was one of his like rare albums from Japan. And I think there's only like 100. Wow. There's only like 100 of them in the world, or something insane like that. And I have this now, and like it's so bonkers. Like I just can't even. I don't know. I can't even believe I met Steve Aoki too. I mean, the dude's a legend.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the Steve Aoki Demon Slayer remix. That's the one we're all waiting for, I think.
Oh, that'd be sick. Yeah,
that would be right. I think he's just recently done One Piece again and
right,
Evangelion. Neon Genesis and on. So
right,
come on, Demon Slayer. It's got to be next on the list.
Make it happen. Come on, Steve. Let's
go.
And
we know you're listening.
Steve, let's make it happen and invite me out to the show, please. Thank you.
And I'll be Zach's assistant instead of Adam. That's fine.
Taking Adam's job. There you go.
Look, man, I think it'd be remiss of us not to talk about Demon Slayer. The Infinity Castle movie was just everywhere, 700 million, just a global monster. Now, when you're recording those scenes, did you know how big this was going to be? Because it is a big story in the Demon Slayer legacy. We know that. Or is it just another day in the studio? Or does the scale of it ever get scary? I mean, even from taking on that role, you're an anime fan and a manga fan. So you knew what you were getting into with Demon Slayer. You must have known it was going to be big.
Yeah. I had a feeling. I'm like, this is it. This is the arc. This is the final countdown. This is the trilogy. I think everyone's going to be tuning in. People who like Demon Slayer, or people who maybe don't know much about Demon Slayer, but they look at the amazing animation by UFO Table and they're like, oh, I should go see this in theaters. Well, it's in theaters. And then they backtrack and go and watch all of Demon Slayer afterwards. I had a feeling it was going to do really well in the box office, but never did I imagine it would be like I think it might have been like a top 10 movie of the year or something, like out of every movie. I'm not even just animated movies or anime movies.
Movies.
Yeah, like movies, period, which is crazy. Nominated for a Golden Globe, which just an honor. Hoping for like an Oscar nom eventually. That would be so
amazing, right?
So insane. That would be such a big win for anime. But we've gotten so much recognition from this film, and being a part of it, being there on the red carpet at the Chinese theater. I met Channing Tatum. I met his family. I saw various other celebrities that I mean, I'm like, I'm one of the leads in this movie, right? And I felt so nervous. I didn't really go up to too many people because I'm like, wow, this is so crazy. All these people are here, and now they're gonna listen to my voice come out of this character on a movie screen, like one of the biggest IMAX screens I think in California. I hope they like it, and just a very surreal. Just a surreal night. I think that's the word of the day is surreal, because I just can't believe that happened.
I mean, you've got people like Channing Tatum that are massive anime fans with his daughter and all of this sort of stuff, and these big actors, and people are now coming out, and I think we are having this resurgence of anime and manga. There was a big sort of resurgence of it back in the 90s and early noughties, that kind of Akira, that Fist of the North Star generation. I remember watching all of those back in the day, and then a few of us sort of put it away, and let it lie for a little while. And animes like Demon Slayer have come along and just reignited that passion and brought in new fans in a new way. So whereas older generations that did watch these animes are now bringing their kids along, and it's really becoming it shouldn't sound like a family day out. They were all going to go watch Demon Slayer, but it is. It's just bringing families together, and it's lovely to see it. There's so many conventions that we go to, and how many times have you seen Tanjiro walking by holding the mum and dad's hand, and it's just so amazing, right?
Oh, it's incredible. I think that's my favorite part of going to conventions is getting to meet the kids and getting to meet families. And I can't tell you how many times I'll go to a convention. It's every time that I go to a convention, multiple times throughout every single day I'm there. I have families come up to me and say, hey, Tanjiro and us watching Demon Slayer as a family, like it inspired my 10-year-old to read, to like pick up a book and start reading, and now he's doing better in school, and we watched this show as a family, and it just means so much to me as a parent. It means so much to my son. It means so much to all of us together. It's brought our family together, and we've bonded over it. I can't tell you numerous stories about people bonding over the show, even like maybe a brother and sister who didn't have a great relationship, but they both liked anime, and then they started watching Demon Slayer and they related to the characters, and they're like, hey, why aren't we kinder to each other, like how Tanjiro and Nezuko are? Like, why, even older brothers who like that inspired them to look after their siblings more. And there's just so many awesome and positive messages about the show and the characters. Same for Tanjiro. I think he's just an incredible role model. Kids will come up to me and say, I want to be like Tanjiro when I grow up. And I'm like, hey, that's great. He's a saint. So not a bad role model, man. Like, you should do it. Become just like Tanjiro, buddy. I just having that experience and relationship with fans is something that I don't take for granted at all. I think it's so special and just cool to be a part of people's lives in that way. And I never thought that I would have an opportunity to be that for somebody else.
And I think if it was called The Saint Who Looks After His Little Sister, it probably wouldn't be as popular as Demon Slayer, to be fair, though.
Yeah,
there's a way more rad title.
Yeah.
And look, you've traveled the world with anime and obviously conventions and being on that convention circuit. That's where we met, and I've seen you. I've walked past the table a few times when you've been at conventions. Your tables are always stacked, can never get near to say hello and stuff like that, and I'm always running around doing things as well. But what is the kind of the wildest parts of the convention scene that you've seen, or what's the craziest thing that you've been asked to sign as well? Not just I'm not talking about Funkos and the books, and I'll talk about my book that you signed in a little while. But like, I know that we've been on stage and someone has like brought up a taxidermied animal for someone to sign and then given it to them as a present. Have you had any kind of out there moments? I know we all get bracelets and things like that, but what's
wow.
Any standout things, any standout gifts or standout things to sign?
It's like, thanks for giving me your taxidermied animal.
Yeah.
Oh wow. To be honest, sometimes it's like a whirlwind. I've had some really fun experiences. I've had people ask me to sign their baby before, and I was like, I don't know about this. I feel like there's probably some legal issue here when it comes to signing this child's forehead and then you getting it tattooed on them or something, whatever your crazy plan is. I've signed people. I think that's the most like insane thing is signing literal people. I've signed a guy's chest before. He came up to me with a really tight shirt, ripped it open, and said,
"Sign my chest, Zach."
And I proceeded to. I wasn't going to argue with that man because clearly he's not in his right mind. So I'm like, okay, dude, I'll sign your chest. And then he goes and gets it tattooed. I've had so many people get my signature like tattooed on their skin, and sometimes they'll have like a whole portrait of Tanjiro like on their bicep, and then I'll sign right below it. And I mean, that's just like such an honor. It's just such a really cool thing to even be able to say that I did. I don't know why they would want my signature on them, but but I'm like, hey, you don't have to get it signed. Or you don't have to get it tattooed. Like, I can just sign it and you can take a picture, and you don't have to go and make it permanent. And they do. Usually they'll go later that day, right after I've signed it, or the next day, and they'll literally get it tattooed.
And depending on which con you're at, you can get it done there and then.
They might have gotten it done right at the convention. You're right. And then they come back and see me like the next day and say, hey, they're like, see, dude, I told you I was gonna do it, and it's all like tattooed, and they have the tape over it. Yeah, it's crazy.
And you had when we met, it was quite a few years ago now, and Demon Slayer was big. Nothing at the scale that it is now, but it was still big. And bought you my book, Zach and Summer book. It's be an honor, and you were like, yes. And you got your pen. And you went, can't sign the front because this artwork is too beautiful. Signed it in size. Now, this is no other voice actor has done that. Every other single voice actor is, and they sign on the front. Do you still do that? I mean, with the cues that you must have now, I do still see you taking time with it, but you had so much respect for that, and that really kind of... I was happy to have it signed on the front, but it kind of really touched me and really got me thinking about the levels of respect that you have for the show and the concept art that came from.
Oh yeah. I mean, so it's funny because back then I don't think I still hadn't signed like too many manga, and and people had asked me to sign on their covers, and I'm like, are you sure? And they're like, oh yeah, and I'm like, okay, and I've done it, and then somebody told me like it rubbed off, and somebody told me something else. I just want to make sure it stays on there too, and it doesn't and I don't want to sign across Tanjiro's face so you can see his beautiful face. But yeah, no, sometimes I will sign on the cover. I just have to make sure I have like the right pen to do it. And then I have now I have a little corner where I go to, like the bottom. I think it's like the bottom or the top right. Right above his head in that little black space. Yes, that's where I try to I squeeze it in up there.
So you're like, it's just such a pretty picture. It just looks so nice. So I was like, yeah, you're kind of right, actually. Okay, let's do it on the cover.
The artwork is phenomenal. Like it's absolutely crazy. Like it's so good. I wonder if there's a way I can find some Demon Slayer animation cells and buy them, or do an auction. I'm sure those would go crazy. That'd be such a legendary piece of history to own.
You must know some people that can get their hands on that.
I know a few people. Yeah, I haven't exercised my connections yet, but I probably should at some point before they have the bright idea to sell those on a public auction or something where everyone can.
Get in there now while it's
before I have to bid against everyone.
Exactly. We'll cut this out of the interview as well, so that we. And do you ever get the chance to, voice actors now are really, people know who you are. And this didn't seem to be a thing years ago. As a voice actor, it was like, oh, okay. Do you get to walk the con floor anymore, or do you have to go incognito? Do you, put a costume on, put a mask on, and walk around and be in cosplay?
It's hard. Yeah, I've had events where I'm like, oh yeah, there's a booth I really want to go out and visit, and it's an artist friend's booth of it's a friend's booth of theirs, and I want to go and visit them, and the people from convention security will insist. They're like, we must go with you. I'm like, no, it's fine. It's no one's gonna even see me, and it's funny because I guess I just don't really realize the power of being recognized or famous, because typically in day-to-day life, I'm in LA. everybody's kind of famous in some capacity out here, so I don't think people care too much unless I'm like Sabrina Carpenter or like some super famous like singer or actor. But I do get stopped, I do get recognized like out in public sometimes, just in the most random places, like at a Target or at the airport or even at Disneyland. That's happened to me before, where somebody will come up to me and be like, "Are you Zach Aguilar?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's me."
Yeah.
But yeah, at conventions specifically, that's where you can kind of have that Hannah Montana moment, right? Like you go to a convention and most of the people there know your face or know who you are, and then you can be a superstar at the convention, and then you go home and it's like, back to normal. Back to normal life.
I mean, not after we do the live action Cyberpunk. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, dude.
Exactly. You might not be wrong.
I was thinking about it, actually. We were talking about doing the anime, and obviously you've done loads of gaming bits and bobs as well, voice acting. But doing the game for Demon Slayer, is that a different process that you have to go through? Like, because see, I know there's the whole like doing the and all of that, and then you're trying to. Your character is almost like a narrator, isn't it? I always find they're telling you, and now I'm going to pick up this pet. Like that's what they do. How do you approach that? Because it's two different genres of voice acting, but the same character that you've done.
Yeah, I find doing the games is a little bit more freeing, I think, than the anime, because we don't always have to follow really strict timing. However, with like the Hinokami Kagura's, like all of the Hinokami Kagura moves, those are all set to a specific time due to the frames of the game, so I have to time myself and make sure it's absolutely perfect. If that like Hinokami Kagura is like too long, it's like it's not Hinokami Kagura, it's Hinokami Kagura, and like they make me do it really fast to fit within that specific time frame. So certain lines of ours might sound a little different if you're comparing it like directly to a line from the anime that he says, but there are a lot of moments where I have more freedom than I would have in the anime because of the timing. So there are a lot of moments in video games where things aren't timed specifically, and you can just kind of say this monologue and say this line at your own pace naturally, rather than having to rush through it. But it is a different process, and I will say games are more intense than doing the anime, just due to all of the different grunts and the screams, and usually us packaging those in one session rather than splitting it all up across multiple sessions. Like I will typically go in and do my screamer session, whereas that's when I just do all of my attack lines in one session and boom, get it done. And then for the rest of them, we can chill for a bit. But that one is intense. That one's really intense.
It is a really intense, and there's a lot of voice work in that game throughout the whole. I feel like you're talking all of the way through it. I remember I was playing
narrating everything.
Yeah, I was playing it on my Switch, and my wife was like, "What are you playing?" Because you're literally going, "My sister is so beautiful," and she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Well, it's Demon Slayer. You won't get it."
That's so funny.
And talking of timings, we are nearly out of time, and I thank you so much for.
Wow, went by so fast.
I know it's just been like we're hitting an hour, so I don't want to take too much of your time. But you're always welcome to come back on the show. We can do some more. But I was just wondering, best anime intro of all time, but you can't say Demon Slayer.
Ooh, you mean like like from an anime, like a song.
Yeah, like Lisa is grunge, and Demon Slayer. Just that kicks in, doesn't it?
Oh wow. Let me think back. Maybe Bluebird from Naruto. That was an intro, right? That was an intro, not an ending. Yeah.
I feel like it was.
I think so.
I play it in my DJ sets all the time.
It's been so long, but for me,
Yes.
that like takes me back. That was the one that slapped like as a kid. I'm like, whoa, what is this? And my first time ever really listening to like music from Japan. And I don't know, that was my go-to song. So I don't know. I guess I gotta say that one for now. And I'll probably think of something else.
Yeah, as we were saying earlier, we'll start overthinking these and go, I should have said that. No, I should have asked that question, and I should have answered that way.
Exactly.
Zach, thank you so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. Best of luck with all of the projects that you've got coming your way. You're a master of your art. You're so humble as well, and you're just an amazing guy. So thank you once again, and I cannot wait to see you as David again in Cyberpunk. This is going to be awesome.
Leroy, thanks so much for having me. Thank you for the kind words, and hopefully I'll see you again sometime out at a convention or somewhere. Don't be a stranger, man. Like come say hi.
I'll pop by the booth for definite. I'll see you soon, buddy.
Do it. Sounds
See you,
good.
man. Bye.
See ya. Bye.
And that's it. Thank you so much, Zach. It's been awesome spending time with you, and I hope to catch up with you soon. And I'll see you around on the concert once again. Thank you so much for staying tuned with us. Thank you for listening, subscribing. Don't forget, hit that like button, do the shares, leave a review. That would help. Until next time, I'll catch you all on Beyond the Comic Con.